Here we go. Act 2. The same. So we've continued. So the idea is that the play just carries on. There's no breaks, there's no change in direction, it just carries on. Now, the first act was all about Eva Smith's abuse as a working class woman, as a working class character. Act 2 is centered around the experience of Eva as a woman. Okay? So the first act is about her class, the second act is much more about her gender, and you'll see that as we go through it. At Rise, scene and situation are exactly as they were at the end of Act 1. The inspector remains at the door for a few moments looking at Sheila and Gerald, and then comes forward, leaving the door open behind him.
Well?
Come on! Up!
Well?
You see, what did I tell you?
What did you tell me?
Inspector, I think Miss Burlings ought to be excused from any more of this questioning. She's told you all she knows. She's had a long, exciting and tiring day. We were celebrating our engagement, you know, and now she's obviously had about as much as she can stand. You heard her.
Yeah, well done. This is interesting, right? Because he's talking like he's a child. Oh, he's a bit tired. A long, tiring day. Let's let her off, right? What's the real reason he doesn't want her in this questioning moment? Yes?
Trying to sound himself.
Is he? But what's she about to find out? Yeah, exactly. So the real reason is because he doesn't want his fiancée. I'm not sure if any of you have ever had affairs before, but if you do have an affair, you normally don't want your fiancée to find out about it. So he goes, oh, she's a bit tired. Maybe she should go out.
But she already knows about the affair.
She knows that it happened. She doesn't know about the details, right? It's the details that kill you, right? So there's an idea here that he's pretending. So he's pretending to care, but really, it's about self-interest, right? He doesn't want his fiancée to find out that he's having an affair with another woman all summer. Good. Sheila?
He means I'm getting hysterical now.
And are you?
Probably.
Well, I don't want to keep you here. I've no more questions to ask you.
No, but you haven't finished asking questions, have you?
No.
You see? Then I'm staying.
Good. So again, we get nice little moments here of her kind of asserting some power, right? But also this bit here, hysterical. So this is a bit of a stereotype. So there's a stereotype around women that they were sort of uncontrolled emotion. So hysteria is when you can't control your emotions. Have you ever heard that when women have, if women have an operation to remove their womb, it's called a hysterectomy, as in like hysteriectomy. So it's a link to the womb, and the idea that having a womb makes women emotional. So whereas men are supposed to be like calm and controlled and not emotional, women are often stereotyped as being overly emotional, right? So she shouldn't stay in the room because she can't handle it. She's too emotional. Gerald?
Why should you? It's bound to be unpleasant and disturbing.
Yeah.
And you think young women ought to be protected against unpleasant things?
Ooh. Do you see it? Right? So what we got here is we've got a little bit of a setup. So in your opinion, women should be protected from unpleasant things, right? What's being foreshadowed? That he has a different attitude based on the woman's class. So upper class women protected, but working class women treat as you wish. So he's setting up Gerald's hypocrisy. Oh, so you think they should be protected, do you? Notice his response. If possible, yeah. Inspector.
Well, we know one young woman who wasn't very.
Yeah, so of course, Eva. So we have a sense here that there is essentially one rule for the upper class, and another for the working class, right? So again, being a woman depends on what family you're born into. right? For someone like Sheila, she's protected from the bad things in the world to the point where she becomes like a child. For Eva, she is a victim of them. Gerald?
I suppose I asked for that.
If you don't ask for any more, Gerald,
I only meant to say you. Why stay when you obviously hate it?
it's not really worse than it has been, and it might be better.
I see.
Yeah, so he's pretty worried here. Like, he knows it's going to be bad. He knows the inspector's going to get this bad stuff out of him. And it is pretty bad, to be fair. Sheila?
What do you see?
You've been through it and now you want to see someone else go through it.
Okay, that's interesting. So he assumes that her reasons are bad. That the reason she wants to stay is because she wants to see somebody else struggle through his treatment. Sheila?
So that's what you think I'm really like. I'm glad I realised it in time, Gerald.
No, I didn't mean.
Yes, you did. And if you really loved me, you couldn't have said that. You listened to that nice story about me. I got that girl sacked from Millwall. And now you've made up your mind I must obviously be some selfish, vindictive creature.
Yeah, you've made up your mind there must obviously be some selfish creature. So she's kind of worried about reputation, right? So she's about to marry this man, and her worry is that, I guess more so than her worry about the fact that someone's died, is that now he knows what she's like, he won't want to marry her anymore, and the reputation has been ruined. Gerald?
I neither said that nor even suggested it.
Then why say I want to see somebody else put through it? That's not what I'm doing.
Alright then, I'm sorry.
Yes, you don't believe me, and this is just the wrong time not to believe me.
Allow me, Miss Burling. I can tell you why Miss Burling wants to stay on and why she says it might be better for her if she did. A girl died tonight. A pretty lively sort of girl who never did anybody any harm. But she died in misery, agony and hate love.
So he's like, oh, I'll tell you why, right? And he just repeats. So all of this is just repetition. But I think the idea is to kind of keep the focus on Eva. So these two start to bicker. So all of this here is basically just like bickering, right? Like arguing. And the inspector says, remember, the reason we're here is because of this. Like, you deal with your little issues later on. We're here to find out what happened to this girl, why she died, right? Misery, agony, hating life. Then Sheila cuts in. Remember, this always is like an interruption. She had a misery and agony, hating life.
Don't, please. I know, and I can't stop thinking.
Yeah, I can't stop thinking about it. Inspector, then you interrupt her.
Now, Miss Burling has just been made to understand what she did to this girl. She feels responsible, and if she leaves us now and doesn't care anymore, then she'll feel she's entirely to blame.
Yes.
She'll be along with her responsibility the rest of tonight, or tomorrow, or the night next.
Yeah, good. So this is actually quite sensible, right? He says that she is partly to blame. If she leaves now, doesn't know what happened, she will think that she is wholly to blame. So she must stay there for the benefit of her conscience. She needs to clear her conscience by knowing that she was not the sole perpetrator of the girl's death. She's part of it, but not solely responsible. Sheila?
Yes, that's it. I know I'm to blame, and I'm desperately sorry, but I can't believe, I won't believe, it's simply my fault that in the end she committed suicide. That would be too horrible.
You
Yeah.
see, we have to share something. If there's something else, we'll have to share our guilt.
Yeah, so we have to share something. So of course, remember, that's kind of the socialist idea. And if we can't share anything else, we have to share our guilt, right? Again, this idea of the chain, right? This metaphor that he uses, the chain of events, that they are all part of this chain that links together. Sheila?
Yes, that's true. I don't understand about you.
There's no reason why you should.
I don't know about police inspectors, but the one I have met is one spits like you.
Yeah, so this is interesting, right? I don't know much about the police, so again, another idea that she's been kind of sheltered from the world. But the ones she has met, probably through her dad, aren't like him. But what's he doing? Like if they're not like him, then what are they like? He's asking questions and he cares about people. So the ones I've met aren't a bit like you. So I've always say for him is that he questions people, he questions and cares, which of course suggests that the police do neither of those things. So there's an idea here that the police are corrupt, or if you don't want to be as harsh as that, you might just say a bit useless, right? So here is a police officer who is asking questions and cares about people. Oh, I've never met one like you before. The ones that I usually see don't ask questions and don't care about anybody, apart from playing golf with my dad. Mrs. Burling enters. Now, Mrs. Burling, you are smiling. You are social, right? You're trying to put a good spin on these things. Okay, let's go.
Good evening, Inspector.
Good evening, madam.
I'm Mrs. Burling, you know. My husband just explained why you're here. And while we'll be glad to tell you anything you want to know, I don't think we can help you much.
What a great sentence. What a great sentence, right? I will help you in whatever way I can, but there's no way I can help you, right? It's reasonably ironic. So she's pretending. So the facade of this is, I want to help. We care a lot about these people. I want to help you, but I'm sorry, there's probably nothing I have to say. Before she's even been questioned. So we have a nice little bit of sort of, I guess, like, we'll use the word facade. Facade and reality is really nicely reflected in this sentence here. We'll do anything you want to help us. We're very helpful, but we don't know anything. Sheila.
No, mother, please.
What's the matter, Sheila?
I know it sounds silly.
What does?
You see, I feel like you're beginning all wrong, and I'm afraid you'll say something or do something that you'll be sorry for afterwards.
Yeah, so she gets it, right? She understands what the inspector does. So his method is to make them say things that then he can use against them. So like with Gerald on the previous line, back a bit, like with Gerald when he says, we should protect women. He goes, oh really, you want to put that on paper, do you? We protect women. If we can. Right, that's his method. His method is to set them up. Mrs. Burling.
I don't understand you.
I don't understand you. What are you talking about? Sheila.
We all started like that, so confident, so pleased with ourselves, until we began asking those questions.
Yeah. So he's able to crack them like a nut. Yeah. We start off confident, strong, and he breaks us down through questions.
You seem to have made a great impression on this child, Inspector.
Again, remember, how old is she? She's 24 years old, right? Child, all the time. Child. Inspector.
We often do with the young ones. They're more impressionable.
Good. So again, we talked about this the other day. The idea is that change can happen through the young generation. The old generation, they're cooked, right? They're done. You can't uncook them, right? The young generation, there's a chance there. The inspector and Mrs. Burling look at each other for a moment. Then Mrs. Burling turns to Sheila again.
You're looking tired, dear. I think you ought to go to bed and forget this absurd business. You'll feel better in the morning.
Yeah, so again, this is kind of repeats Gerald's point. So everyone's telling us to go to bed all the time, right? Go to bed. Sheila.
Mother, I couldn't possibly go. Nothing could be worse for me. We've settled all that. I'm staying here until I know why that girl killed herself.
Yeah, okay, so she's interested in the truth. Good. Mrs. Burling,
Nothing but morbid curiosity.
which she says is something perverse, right? So the only reason you want to know is because you've got a morbid curiosity. You're obsessed with death. Sheila.
No, it isn't.
Please don't contradict me like that. And in any case, I don't suppose for a moment that we can understand why the girl committed suicide.
Good.
Girls of that class.
Girls of that class, right? This is leading me towards my highlighter pen. Girls of that class. How would you imagine she would have finished that sentence if she was allowed to finish it? You can discuss it. What's she going to say?
Oh, she's cut off.
Girls of that she's cut off, right? Girls, we can't understand her. Girls of that class are. What do you reckon she'd say if she was allowed to finish? Take 10 seconds while I make a note.
very expensive.
Right, any guesses for this? Yes, Manny? Girls of that class.
I'm not too sure, but maybe she thinks that like girls of that class are very like thick skinned.
Yeah, maybe, right? So girls of that class are unknowable, or girls of that class are very hard. Right, we don't know what she says. What we do 100% know is that whatever she said is going to be very, very prejudiced. Because the minute anyone ever says, oh, girls of that class, if anyone walked here and said, oh, you know what men are like, you know what Asian people are like, you know what black people are like, you know what Jews are like, anytime you ever make a statement about a people, there's no way it's not going to be in some way prejudiced or racist, is it? Right? Girls of that class. Right? Sheila's like, Sheila, you're cutting in. Girls of that class.
Mother, don't. Please don't. For your own sake as well as ours, you mustn't.
Yeah. So she knows what she's going to say. Right? Because she properly says it all the time. Right? There is with Mrs. Burling, a genuine hatred of the poor. She hates them. So she goes, girls of that class, right? And you go, oh my God, don't say that in public. She knows what she's going to say, and it's going to be bad. Mrs. Burling, you mustn't.
Mustn't what? Really, Sheila?
You mustn't try to build up a kind of wall between us and that girl. If you do, the inspector will just break it down, and it'll be worse when he does.
I don't understand you. Do you?
Yes, and she's right.
Right, she does not like that, right? She does not like that. Because she's going to control her kids. She said, go to bed. Don't contradict me. What are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about? Do you understand what she's saying? Yeah, I do. And she's right. AKA, you're wrong. He does not like that. Look at her response. Do you know what haughtily means? If you're haughtily, it's basically like this. I beg your pardon? It's like, huh? It's like, huh? Like, sort of like the indignant shock, right? I beg your pardon. Do you want to do it?
I beg your pardon.
Very good. Inspector.
I said yes. I do understand her, and she's right.
Yeah, I do understand her. She's right. Now again, different ways of thinking about the world. Mrs. Burling lives in a class structure, right? No one speaks to me that way. I am Mrs. Burling. I am important, right? Even if I'm wrong, you still don't speak to me that way. The inspector, of course, represents the simple truth. Yes, you're wrong. She's right, Mrs. Burling.
That I consider as a trifle impertinent.
Yeah,
Inspector.
rude. In this world, to tell her she's wrong is rude. Sheila gives a short, hysterical laugh. Ha! Yes?
Now what is it, Sheila?
I don't know, perhaps it is because impertinent is such a silly word, but Mother, do stop before it's too late.
Yeah. She's trying to save her mother. We've all been there. Trying to stop your mum doing something weird or stupid. But you can't stop mothers. You know what they're like? They have the power. Mrs. Burling?
Now what is it, Sheila?
Right, huh? We're here.
No, sorry. If you mean that the inspector will take offence,
No, I never take offence.
I'm glad to hear it. Though I must add that it seems to me that we have more reason for taking offence.
Yeah, so he's a professional, right? I never take offence, right? I'm alright, don't worry about me. What the hell have I done here? Professional. You know what I'm saying. Professional. Mrs. Burling. Sorry, did this here. We have more reason for taking offence. So she is the victim of this incessant questioning. How dare you come here and question me about my life and my things? Inspector.
Let's leave offence out of it, shall we?
Wait, one pause for a sec, Paul.
Why is there like a weird font on the wheel?
Because, okay, so this here, you can analyse this. So this here is what we call italicising. You ever seen this on computers?
Italics.
Yeah, italics. If you
We
italicize,
should take offence.
yeah, if you italicize it, it means that you emphasise it when you read it. So it's like, oh, I don't take offence. Yeah, we should take offence. We, right? We. That's what it means. It tells the actor to emphasise that word in particular. Right, let's go from here, please. Gerald.
I think we'd better, Miss Burnham.
So do I.
I'm talking to the inspector now, if you don't mind. I realise...
That's fine, go on. I'm talking to the inspector now, if you don't mind. We just read this bit.
I realise that you may have to conduct some sort of inquiry, but I must say that so far you seem to be conducting it in a rather peculiar and offensive manner. You know, of course, that my husband was Lord Mayor only 2 years ago, and that he's still a magistrate.
Right? So again, this idea of, he repeats Mr. B's brags. She's like, you don't mess with us because we're important. So she is kind of obsessed with hierarchy, right? Now what's interesting is, in her mind, there are some people that you question about things and some you don't. So in her world, she would argue that class is more important, you know that symbol, than justice. Right? Don't you know that we'll underline these, we'll highlight these. My husband was Lord Mayor, and he's still a magistrate. Right? Now, what's also interesting to me is that she makes this claim that she's been out of the room. So he's gone, oh, Sybil, you never guess what's happened. The inspector's come here. He said things to me. He said that I got her sacked. I was bad for doing that. Then he's gone and said that Sheila got her sacked. Right, he's been right rude, that bloke. And she goes in and goes, it seems to me that you're being very offensive. She's not been there. She's not been in the room. She's just, it's just like hearsay. But notice that she doesn't want to establish any facts herself. She just takes that and just delivers it, right? Gerald.
Miss Burling, the inspector knows all that, and I don't think it's a very good idea to remind her.
Yeah, Gerald's pretty smart, right? He's pretty smart. He sees what's going on, right? Sheila.
It's crazy. Stop it, please, mother.
They're right, you know.
Really?
Yes. Now, what about Mr. Burnham?
Now, this is an interesting stage of action, right? Trying to crush him. So again, trying to sort of assert. She's not like jumping in the air. She's trying to assert power, right? Really? Really? You want to go there? Really? Yes. Now, what about Mr. Burling?
He's coming back in a moment. He's just talking to my son, Eric, who seems to be in an excitable, silly mood.
Yeah, he's pretty worried because he's done something, and arguably he's done the worst thing of all of them, which is why we get him last. But he's pretty worried about what he's done. Inspector.
What's the matter with him?
What's the matter with him?
Eric? Oh, I'm afraid we may have had rather too much to drink tonight. We're having a little celebration here.
Yeah, too much to drink. So again, this is another bit of foreshadowing. Eric has a problem with alcohol, which eventually causes him big problems. Let's put alcohol issues. Okay, Inspector.
He used to drink it.
Sheila?
No. No, of course not. He's only a boy.
Oh, sorry.
Again, he's in his 20s, right? He's not a boy. He's a man, right? He's a little boy. But notice that this is true, and this is false. Now, do you think that Mrs. Burling is unaware? Freddie? Is she unaware that her boy drinks?
She's just trying to shut that up. She doesn't want to see him drinking, or
Exactly. So there's an idea here of she's in what we call denial. She's like, my little boy couldn't have an alcohol problem. Yes, he does. He's drunk all the time. She's like, no, that's not true. He's a little boy. So now it might be that it's a lie, but I think it's more likely she's in denial, like a mother would be, right? Sheila, no, Inspector, sorry.
No, he's a young man.
Yeah, good. Now the key thing here, uncircle this please, boy and young man. The key thing here is about responsibility. Okay? Boys are not responsible, they are children. Men are responsible. So by calling him a boy, what she's saying is that he's not responsible for his behaviours. By calling him a man, you say that he is responsible.
Is there any way you can say that's juxtaposition?
Yeah, absolutely. Right? But it's juxtaposing their views of him. She sees him as a little boy, an innocent little boy, which he is not, by any means. And she sees him as a young man. Okay. Sheila.
And he drinks far too much.
Good.
Sheila.
Sheila.
I don't think where it's trouble, it's probably enough trouble already. But we really must stop these silly pretenses. This isn't time to pretend that Eric isn't used to drink. He's been steadily drinking too much for the last 2 years.
Yeah, he's been steadily drinking for the last few years. How long ago did Eva Smith get fired? 2 years, right? So there's a link here between so Eva's problems begin. So again, a parallel. Okay, parallel. The life of a poor woman versus a rich man of the same kind of age. Mrs. Belling.
It isn't true. You know them, Gerald. And you're a man. You must know it isn't true.
Yeah, kind of desperate here. Inspector? He doesn't want to answer. He doesn't want to answer. He doesn't want to lie, but also he doesn't want to tell the truth. Inspector?
Well, Mr. Croft?
I'm afraid it is, you know. Actually, I've never seen much of him outside of this house. But well, I have gathered that he does drink pretty hard.
Yeah, I've gathered that he drinks pretty hard. I'll highlight this one. How has he gathered that? How does he know? Yep.
He's been around quite a lot.
Absolutely. He's got a reputation in the bars, right? He's got a reputation. I've gathered. Like, I'm not there myself. I'm not in the bars myself, but I've gathered that he's in the bars. Mrs. Burley.
And this is the time you chose to tell me.
Yeah. Sheila.
Yes, of course it is. That's what I'm saying about building up a wall that is sure to be knocked flat. It makes it all the harder to bear.
Yes.
But it's you, and not the inspector here, who's doing it.
Yes, but don't you see, he hasn't started on you yet.
Yeah, that's true. And he does. So, like, for sure, her time is coming. They've all done something. She comes up at the end of Act 2. Okay, Mrs. Burley?
If necessary, I shall be glad to answer any questions the inspector wishes to ask me. Though, naturally, I don't know anything about this girl.
Yes, you do. You just don't care enough to remember. Inspector?
We'll see, Mrs. Burley.
Yeah, ooh, we'll see. We'll see. Mrs. Burling enters. Mr. Burling, sorry, enters and closes the door behind him. You ready, Mr. Burling? He's building up to this. So you entered, you close the door. Shwoom.
I've been trying to persuade Eric to go to bed, but he won't. Now he says you told him to stay up, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Why?
Because I shall want to talk to him, Mr. Burley.
Yeah, he's involved. Right. Merlin?
I don't see why you should, but if you must, then I suggest you do it now. Have him and get it over with. Wait, what?
Have him in and get it over with. Then let the lad go. Notice again, lad. So lad is another word for a boy. Right? So let my son, like, do that bit now and then let him go. What do you think the inspector's going to say? Inspector?
No, I can't do that yet, I'm sorry, but I'll have to.
No, you're angry. You're more angry. You're getting angry, right? Because this guy's in your house. He's telling you how to run your household, right? You're getting pissed off.
Now look here, Inspector.
And you interrupt him. Come on, let's get some energy here, gentlemen. So, you're angry, right? Now look here, Inspector. Do that.
Now look here, Inspector.
He must wait his turn.
You see?
Man,
No, I don't. Yeah, not that. No, I don't. And please be quiet, Sheila.
Yeah, so it's getting a little tense, right? It's a little tense. There's a little bit of power struggles. They're all turning on each other, right? Everyone's getting a bit aggy about it all, right? How dare you do that? He must wait his turn. No, yes, no, yes. You see, be quiet. Berlin.
Inspector, I've told you before, I don't like your tone, nor the way you're handling this inquiry, and I don't propose to give you much more rope.
Ooh, I don't propose to give you much more rope. I don't propose to give you much more rope. Interesting line. It is a metaphor. What does that mean? I don't propose to give you much more rope. Michael?
Like slack, like extra time.
Yes. Now, the rope is, of course, reference to when you hang somebody, right? If you give somebody rope, it means that they don't hang, and as you pull the rope away, they get killed. So there's probably other versions of the metaphor as well. But the reference to the rope is the idea, it's almost like it's a threat. Right? Inspector?
You needn't give me any rope.
Sheila?
No, he's giving us rope.
He's giving us the rope, right? Notice 3 times. So essentially, who is on trial, right? Mr. Burling says, you're the one who's on trial here. And he says, no, I'm not. She says, yes, we're the ones, right? He's giving us rope so that we'll hang ourselves, right? We are essentially, sorry, I stole your line, John, but I'm sure you don't mind too much, right? So we'll hang ourselves, right? So the idea is they are bringing selves down themselves, right? They're doing it to damage themselves by being so difficult. Burling.
What's the matter with that child?
Right? Notice that child, right? What's the matter with that child? Disrespectful, right? Disrespectful way to talk to somebody.
And she refuses to go.
Go on.
Well, come.
One sec, man, sorry.
Can they get arrested for any of this? Or not really?
No, and that's kind of the point, which is that apart from... No, is the answer. In this day and age, nothing they do is an actual crime.
Is there anything Eric does?
That's where it gets very blurry, because in today, yes, in those days, very blurry, but we'll park that till we get there. Yeah.
So does the inspector just, instead of like trying to arrest them, he just trying to like make themselves
Yeah.
do it themselves?
There is no, at the end of it, they go, there's no actual crime being committed. There's nothing they can be done for. And the whole point, that's the whole point, that somebody can die and be abused so badly and yet no crime's been committed. Because remember, the system of law is not there to protect these people. But we're skipping ahead. John?
Can you be charged for basically causing someone to commit suicide? Given today?
Yeah, you can.
If there is a direct link that you have done something which has made them go do that, then yes. In these days, no. Okay, but we'll come back to it. Let's finish it and we'll return back to it, please. Mrs. Burling, sorry, overexcited. Mrs. Burling.
Sorry.
Go on, overexcited. Say that.
Overexcited.
Yeah. So sorry. What's the matter with that child? She's overexcited, right? That's what she's saying. She's overexcited. She refuses to go. Anger. You're angry.
Well, come along. And what is it you want to know?
Ooh.
At the end of January last year, Miss Girl Ava Smith had to leave Millwood because Miss Burling compelled them to discharge her. And then she stopped being Ava Smith, looking for a job, and became Daisy Renton with other ideas.
Yeah. Other ideas. Turning on Gerald.
Mr. Croft, when did you first get to know her?
Ba, ba, ba. Right. So again, casting inspector summarises. Yeah. Let's not let anyone forget. Let's remind everybody what happened to her. And the next part of the chain, Mr. Croft, when did you get to know her? Now the other ideas, of course, is a reference to her being a sex worker, right? She's not looking for a job anymore. She got other ideas. Mr. Croft, when did you get to know her? The reference being that know her is a sexual reference, right? When did you get to know her? Mr. Burling and Mrs. Burling are shocked. Be shocked. Gerald! Thank you, Gerald.
Where did you get the idea that I did know her?
It's no use, Gerald, you're wasting your time.
As soon as I mentioned the name Daisy Renton, it was obviously deliberate.
Yeah,
You gave yourself away at once.
Of course he did.
of course he did. Right, well done. Okay. Now again, that scene, it's a little bit of a transitionary scene. Like, we don't get loads from it, but it's still something we have to understand. Really, lots of what happens in it is that Sheila is treated like a child, right? Go to bed, stop asking questions. And her parents, again, show their sort of lack of acceptance, okay? Right, we've only got a minute or so. So